For some time now, we have been forced to live in a way that has been foreign to us, unlike anything we have ever seen. The new normal wasn't a part of our wildest dreams. Now, as we are growing and coming to terms with the reality of a global pandemic, we have been stuck in our homes. The places where we often cry, laugh until we can't anymore. A place where the worries of embarrassment are almost none. It's a place where the social face or image we desire others to see comes off or is put on pause. As a result of this, our choice in clothing may change. To embrace our comfort, our willingness changes. Our perspectives might even change. But have we been taking advantage of these moments of isolation, with a potential about the changes we can make about the way we think? Today, as you think not only about the abundant physical isolation you've had, but have you also shared in the struggle of a mental isolation, being far from any outside influences and evaluating the sources of your truth? We address this. Welcome to Sit Down and Listen. What if we started from ground zero? What if we slowly moved our way up the ladder of beliefs, got rid of those pillars of your life that are so fundamental to you that they make you who you are? Well, this sounds very similar to what a French man by the name of René Descartes did. How many of us are brave enough to throw all of our notions of what we believe is right away? Now, it is not thinking, but refusing to think with the definitions of life you have learned. Descartes himself said, if you would be a real seeker after truth, it is necessary that at least once in your life you doubt, as far as possible, all things. Like many before him, Descartes was going to use questions to find truth, and his journey started with what we have had much of today: isolation. He literally locked himself in his chamber to start thinking. Laying down his case, he first poses the point that our senses must be doubted. Where is the obvious guarantee that what we experience is truth? It could all be some type of matrix experience. The images that are received through our eyes could just be a part of one big hallucination. I've heard many people make this point in the past. When facing the responsibility of making choices in their life, they simply get rid of the pressures of life by pinning everything on a concept of a false reality. These people have started their path on doubt, but got stuck on the very first step of Descartes' reasoning, so appearances and senses can't be trusted. But what about dreams? How do we know if we are dreaming? Are we dreaming about the events we see in front of us? Or are they really there? And this is what is frustrating to Descartes. Now, just in case we have not noticed the attack that is being made here on our physical world, and what we can know, this is a direct attack on what dominates the world we live in today. If we are honest, the thing of which this Frenchman is talking about targets the areas on which most people decide to focus the most on. The fashion empire has grown. Body image has dominated the minds of teenage girls for many years. Our mentality of good physical first impressions has become a standard that with every day that passes becomes harder to meet. Many people make moral judgments based on what a certain individual is wearing. Preferential treatment is given to those who have what others wish they did. What others wish they did have. Descartes is challenging them, saying, what if it was just a dream? Can you fully trust that if you can stand on this, if you have no basis at all? Next, Descartes moves into another mental stage. The ideal that there could be what he calls an evil demon or an evil genius that is interrupting the process of our thinking. For many of us, this will seem strange, but Descartes is highlighting the reality of an unassured mind upon existence. The idea is presented to the point that this evil genius could be manipulating the so-called realities of what we know as math and logic. There are many things that can interrupt our ability and necessity to think deeper when it is needed. What could be your evil genius today? What could be that thing, that activity, that person maybe, that is robbing the time for you to lay back, for you to be in a moment of isolation, of mental isolation, and to think about these dilemmas? This whole process that Descartes is embarking upon, and we've quickly seen it over the top, skinned it over the surface, is called methodological doubt, a step-by-step blocking out the possible weaknesses of what we know. At the end point of this, in his search for what is certain, Descartes finds that the only thing that can be proven and true is his mind. And reaching the conclusion that he himself does exist, the words that this man is known for are said in the Latin cogito ergo sum, and how we know it today, I think, therefore I am. The only thing that I can know for sure is what is happening inside my mind, and Descartes reaches this climactic point. This is the statement driven by logic that should grip us all today. Now, from this finding, he moves upward now and gives logical proof for his own existence. Remember, a mind is simply a thing that thinks. We're not talking about a brain here. We're not talking about the pink meat itself. We're talking about a mind. And from the mind, we reach the necessity to disprove the evil demon or genius hypothesis that Descartes himself poses. For Descartes, the perfect being must be the most good being. That being must be one that exists. God is the one being that must exist. Since God is all good, Descartes says, the evil demon cannot exist. Then therefore that proves that things like math and logic must be the way we have to see God. And math and logic aren't messed with. What is posed is that the sciences actually come from a foundation given by God, and this is super important to the way Descartes sees the world around him, because if there is no God, then there is no good. And if there is no ideal of a good, then there can't be the ideal of an evil. So it doesn't matter. There can't be an evil demon. Descartes deals with our mental grid to such a point that we have named the graph where we dictate coordinate values by his name, what we know as the Cartesian plane. This is how we form our own life map. Descartes started with disbelief and ended with the unavoidable logical reality of God. From the realization of a thinking mind, we face this as well. I will always stand on the shoulders of men like Descartes. The idea is nothing can create itself, nothing can do nothing. So many people argue about the creation of the universe. And I pose, would you ask them this question? Would you ask them the question, do you believe anything exists now? Do you exist now? Even if you have stayed stuck on the doubt of your existence being an illusion, do you believe that even those illusions are real in and of themselves? There could never have been a time where there was nothing. And this principle is at the center focus of what we are. Ex nihilo nihil fit. Out of nothing, nothing comes. It is one of the most elementary statements that anybody can give. Out of nothing, nothing can come. So in our truest reality, that which is in our minds, according to this Frenchman, in a world where science is always claimed by the secular mind, Descartes says no. The origin, the source of the beginning, is the true master scientist, God himself. He is the first cause to cause. I don't think that we're at the level of this God, because we are finite and limited as humans. Even the psalmist knew this when he wrote, when I look at your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars which you have set in place. What is man that you are mindful of him, and the Son of Man that you care for him? Psalms 8, verses 3 through 4. when we look at our own mind, where we have decided, what have we decided to build upon? The idea Descartes has left for us is the case of something that is above us. It is a God that is all good and powerful, yet still remembers about us. Proof that doubt can many times lead to an understanding that we might have never achieved without it.